I'm going to take you on a journey on the whole Metrolink network. We're going to get on a tram all the way to Altrincham and back to town. And I'm going to show you the hidden secrets of the Metrolink line. I'm going to teach you a bit more about the history and in-depth about the old trams and even the new vehicles. And we're just going to travel around the network. This is going to be a big series, a big documentary about the trams. And that's a train next to a tram, that's a tram, that's a tram next to a train line. That's the old T68, that's an M5000. That is inside of a tram, it's an M5000 as well. That is a tram stop, that is a tram. That is me on the tram, that's a tram. And let's just get into the video. So, we're going to start on the Altrincham line, which consists of 11 stops: Deansgate, Cornbrook, Trafford Bar, Old Trafford, Stretford, Dean Road, Sale, Brooklands, Timperley, Navigation Road and Altrincham. The 6.4 mile stretch of track used to be a railway line, and on the 15th of June 1992 it was converted into a Metrolink line, and it has 11 stops. And unfortunately, weirdly enough, which I don't get this reason, it's to do with the electrics. Tram 3001 all the way to 3060 can only go on the Altrincham line. They could go on any other line, but they're the only trams that can go on the Altrincham line. So 3061 to 3121 cannot go on the Altrincham line for some weird reason. This is to do with the electrics and the automatic stop signaling thingy, which I'll have to learn more about. Anyway, so this is the dark green line. We're going to get more into this, and I'm going to tell you a lot more information. So, back in the day, Manchester had an old tram system, and I don't mean an old tram system, I mean a very old tram system, and basically this ran along a lot of streets in Manchester. Now, there was a big rail network across Manchester, including many stopper services that just went out of Manchester, for example, to Bury, to Altrincham, to Glossop, and just many places like that, even Rochdale. There was literally a train service that went to Oldham via Rochdale, and then that's now the Metrolink line. A lot of these smaller Metrolink lines used to be train lines, and there was a big issue. Basically, Manchester Piccadilly at the time, London Road, and Manchester Victoria, I don't know what it was at the time, I think it's always been Victoria. Basically, they didn't connect by a literal train line, so basically you had to ride a couple trains or you had to walk. So the years that followed, many people had many ideas to connect these two stations together, instead of you having to walk through the whole of the city centre or travelling basically out of town to come back into town. And there was plans like a monorail, there was an underground train service that was planned, there was even sky buses. But then someone settled on a thing called a light rail system, meaning it was trams with overhead lines, and they basically ran on the old abandoned train tracks that was around the city. So there was something called the Pick Vic project, and basically it was a Piccadilly to Victoria underground. And of course, the platform for the Pick Vic project was actually underneath Piccadilly. Now, that is currently used by the Manchester Metrolink, which we're going to be talking about. So before all this happened, he decided to set up a little demonstration in Debdale Park. Debdale Park is basically located in Gorton. Basically, it's in Gorton, next to Reddish, next to Openshire. Basically an Openshire as well. It stretches basically. It's quite a big park. And on the Fallowfield loop that passes Debdale, they decided to set a little track up. And sadly, the bridge that they actually set it, where the old train station was, they've actually replaced it quite recently, and they're doing quite a bit of work on Hyde Road. So basically, they set a demonstration track, and they use, and of course, the old railway track, the old style railway track, and basically it was originally the Fallowfield Loop, which is now a cycle path, and it went really good. So because of the success of the testing, they decided to start with phase 1. So what they started to do is convert the old railway lines to the tram lines from Altrincham to Cornbrook Junction and between Bury and Manchester Victoria. And this is why, unlike other cities with tram systems, the Metrolink has quite high platforms, because it was a converted railway system. The Altrincham line used to be the Manchester and South Junction and Altrincham Railway, and it was electrified in 1931. So the trains from Knutsford, Norwich and Chester were diverted at Altrincham via Stockport when the Metrolink was being converted, and this was trains into Manchester. A lot of passengers complained because it took 10 minutes longer to go the route via Stockport. Whilst Metrolink was getting built, there was a few things that were changed from the railway to the Metrolink. For example, the station Old Trafford got changed to Trafford Bar, and the station Warwick Road got changed to Old Trafford. Also, a new underpass was built which allowed the trams to go underneath the Liverpool Livestream line, and this avoided cross-track contamination. A fleet of brand new T68 trams arrived at Queen's Road. The T68 trams were the green trams, but we'll get more into that in another video. And basically, they arrived brand new, and it actually marked history because 1001 was the first tram in decades to actually arrive at the depot for on-street operation. Back then there was a stock called GMX, and the whole of the network was branded green in the old turquoise greenish colour. The Altrincham line has had many changes over the years. It originally operated every 12 minutes, but now it's every 6 minutes. And it used to run from Altrincham to Etihad campus, but now it's Altrincham to Piccadilly and also Altrincham sometimes to Bury. But this has probably changed while I'm doing this video because it changes like nobody's business. As of today, the Altrincham line is doing quite well. It is quite outdated now, where most stations have the answer elevators and they're quite old, they're quite dodgy. They've been refurbished over the years, they've been refurbished answer lifts, but now they're getting quite old. And a lot of the stations do not have CCTV because the line's so old and they've literally just been refurbished. I noticed when I was on the line, there was not much CCTV, but hopefully in the future there's going to be changes. All the stations are yellow, they've all got ticket machines, and all the 60 of the M5000 trams go there. Another fact about the Altrincham line is the Altrincham line sounds similar to the Bury line and the Rochdale via Oldham line, and this is because it's converted railway tracks, and because they speed on the line, they make a quiet. If you lived in that neighbourhood, if you lived behind the tram tracks, you would hate the sound because it's just a really loud continuous sound which people will kind of notice on them lines. Also, the stops Muesli Street and GMX. Muesli Street was taken away, it was knocked down, and GMX was changed to Deansgate Castlefield. And because the Altrincham line uses the old converted railway line all the way to Altrincham, it gets you to Altrincham significantly quicker than the 263 bus service. Navigation Road is probably one of the strangest stations on the Altrincham line. This station has got a level crossing, and it also shares its platform with a train. Meaning on one side it's for the Metrolink and the other side is for the train, but they both use the one-way system, so the train station is a one-way and so is the Metrolink line. That's all I have to say about the Altrincham line, other than there's been a few changes. Altrincham interchange has been refurbished, where the tram, train and bus goes there, and there's nothing really much I can say. So it's one of the places where the Metrolink goes and it has a train, bus and tram.